governors, some House of Reps, some senators. In others party, especially in the one of the strongest opposition party, PDP, are endorsing the president even before the 2027 general election. Meaning why they had to get out with the president. Let me call it back something that is happening. A lot of governors here in the northern part of the country, they against the tax law. They even some of them they came publicly, but at the wrong run, what happened? They even endorse it. So what I want people to understand in politics, nothing is impossible. Anything can happen. It's possible, especially with this current dispensation that we are currently, especially in the APC. I read one report published by reporters, by Sahara reporters concerning what is happening in the situation of the INEC. A lot of things are happening, inconsistency, things are doing happen against going to 2027 general election. So these are all speculation, but Nigerians believe that I'm a politician, and I do believe in 2027, as I said, anything can happen. So I do believe that Aswaju Bola Tinubu can even be defeated in Nigeria by 2027 because he's one of the unaccepted presidential candidate that we have currently in Nigeria that violate our constitution, that try as much as he can to impose in the many institutions to see that democracy is not going. Thank you very much for having me mindset and giving me opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lorimon, for coming on the platform. Thank you for sharing your own opinion and your views. And on that note, before I pass the mic to Ms. Umahan, let me quickly allow Adebayo to speak. Then I will go to Umahan. Adebayo, you have the mic, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let me start from my brother the last.
Sorry, Adebayo, please hold your thought for a minute. Your line is not clear. I think it's very important that you find a suitable place so people can hear you, so nobody will misquote you. Adebayo.
Okay, am I better now?
It's much better now. Please go ahead.
Okay, I want to quickly talk to my brother, the last speaker. I understand your pain. It's not easy to be in the opposition. And I understand that you are also using this platform to do your work. Yes, it is expected. The president can never be right in any way. He's never a good person. He's never somebody that you can ever trust. If I'm also in the position, I'll be saying all this. I'll be complaining bitterly, vehemently about all his policies. That is the job of opposition, to put the ruling party on their toes, to keep their seat burning. Yes, I appreciate all that, and I understand you. For the record, I'm not a card carrying member of APC. I'm just a strong supporter of Mr. President. And I'm trying to reiterate and emphasize here. You don't need to believe me. You don't need to understand. Just saying it for the record that Mr. President is a strong adherent of democracy, democratic rules of law. If you're complaining about the National Assembly, what they are doing that you don't like, you voted them. It shows strongly your choice, how, uh, how you didn't make the right choice yourself. So, Mr. President is not your problem. If there anything is going wrong in the National Assembly, that shows, and I'm saying this to all the opposition on this platform, it shows uh, how you made your calculation by voting in those people, either through whatever means. So that shows your choice. But for Mr. President, he has very good reason for coming into power, and the Airways really justify the means that he's doing the right thing. He's actually doing the right thing. Like I said earlier, it is your duty to keep his seat burning. You are doing the right thing as someone who is really bitter in opposition. So it is expected. Now, back to the issue of third time again. Let me tell you, your panicking is well understood. Anybody that is panicking, it is well understood. If you believe the president is taking a ride on the National Assembly, I can also understand because it's only a fool that will see the true picture and still deny. It's only somebody, I don't know what word to use, the adjective to use. When you see a good policy, after you do your own scrutiny and due diligence, my environment is becoming so. Maybe I should come back. Let me respect this place. Mindset, I will surely, if I can meet maybe in the next 20 minutes, when I'm much in a quiet place, I will come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Adebayo. Please attend to those in your office. It's very important. But thank you for your submission. On that note, two of my co-hosts are no longer here. Captain is struggling to rejoin, but I will bring him up. And Roy told us earlier on that depending on where he is, the network keep moving him out and in. So let me quickly pass the mic to Miss Omahan. I hope I got the name right this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for giving me the mic. So I have a bit of concern, I will say, with the framing, because you said there is concern over a third-term ambition in the North. Is that right?
Or is that a question for me or to the general,
yes,
to any?
for
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Because
yes.
I want to be sure that I got you right, that this concern is from the Northerners before I proceed with my opinion.
Yes, I did say that. Then Mr. Adebayo tried to correct me and said I should have phrased it that it's the Northerners who are in the opposition. Yes.
So you're still standing by the fact that these concerns are just coming from northern Nigeria?
Looking at it, I mean, okay, let me go back a little bit so you understand exactly why the reason I made that comment, because we started with the issue of Goodluck Jonathan, right? Running for, I mean, there's a pictures of him meeting with the ADC members. And I started my monologue by saying it will favor the North very well, because the idea here is if the Northerners were to support Goodluck Jonathan, then he will only do 4 years. There is no question of if he's going to do more than 4 years. And one would then see that they're worried about Bola Ahmed Tinubu going beyond 2031. That's how this conversation started. So you can pick it up from there if you believe that that would help you. Thank you.
Okay. So I will say that for me, many, I will say so far, some Nigerians are a bit concerned because the president has come across as someone that is much more concerned about, entrenching his dominance over political machineries, because we see how he's been influencing things within the ruling party, sometimes institutions, etc. So if there are concerns regarding third-term ambitions from Nigerians, I will say it wouldn't just be paranoia. It is partly justified given what he's done in Lagos. And somehow in between the lines, personally, I'm concerned that the president has a personal mission that is not completely clear. And most times people wait for a second term when they're certain that the road is clear. They don't need to, deal with re-election. And because of that, since it is not clear, many Nigerians are, or some Nigerians, I'll say I'm one of those Nigerians that are concerned, even though I wouldn't say my concern is him outrightly going for a third term bid. but more of him being like a lifetime power broker or a mafia boss or kingmaker, something to that effect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Omahan, for your submission. So you don't think it's only the North. You believe most Nigerians are scared or worried about Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu going beyond 2031?
Yeah, I will say there are definitely Nigerians from all across that have a bit of concern over how he come across as someone that really wants this, dominance.
All right, thank you very much. On that note, I'll pass. Adebayo, you raise your hand. Go ahead, sir.
Quickly, I want to mention something about the panicking about third term when we have not even started the second term. Now, someone said it's all across the country that a lot of people are panicking. For me, it's just the choice of words. It's not a lot of. I keep maintaining it. It's people in opposition. At the end of the day, go do your research across the state. People, a lot of people, even those in opposition, like somebody already mentioned, they are coming in to give this same man that some people are saying he may want to do the third term or be the life president. They are even coming to give him the support. So all this should just be bold enough. And our door is wide, our room is enough to contain anybody that wants to come in. Some people will deny him in the open, and they will come behind the closet to begin to ask us how they can come in and give him support as well. A lot of people, even in the past month, that talk and they talk against the president, they are singing another new song now. Some of them cannot come in the open. Some will come in the open and say all this thing against him. They will make it look and sound as if truly a lot of people are against him. When the election comes again, he takes the win. And most of these people, these few people that are always complaining, they find it very difficult to even align among themselves. At the end of the day, it will still come back that when they fight, they will come and give us the support. That's why the president said in his speech at the National Assembly the other time that it is not our duty. All these complain about if it were to be Tinubu that was the president in 1999 when they have PDP have problem through Obasanjo against Lagos State government that they allow the process to go in. Those are defeatist language. All these things judiciary has been bothered. All these are defeatist language. Do your bid, win the election if you can. Well, like I also said, it is their duty to always say everything, because even on this platform, nobody has said this is what he has done in the past 2.5 years or more than 2 years, then that is right. If I'm also in the opposition, I'll be saying I'm singing the same song. But I can assure you, this Tinubu they are talking about, and this is a man I have known since in the 90s. I have known him. I know him from close range. That's why I'm a strong supporter. I'm not an APC party member, but I'm a very strong supporter of Tinubu because I know what he's worth. I know what he really means. I know his flaws as well. I'm not going to paint him that he's a saint. No, I know his flaws, which I will not mention here anyway. And if at all, mindset, like what you said in politics, if at all, if you decide to try to follow Obasanjo's and you want to throw that line too, I will be one of those that will rise up against him. But see, this second time, even on this platform, I can assure you, a lot of these our speaker talking here against him, they are going to definitely vote for him. If they search their inner of their conscience, they will at that time they will still vote for him. So I'm not going to take any thing against people that are coming up to say is this, is that. It is expected. But that's why we are not moved. We are faced with all those shenanigans. But then it is politics. I don't have much words to say. I just want to drive that my own point home too. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adebayo. Now, I do get your point, but then again, you have to, I mean, you did say that some individual on this platform would join him. That's what politics is all about. If yourself or any other APC member or those who support Bola Ahmed Tinubu were to convince these individuals to vote for him, that's politics. So you have done your job by convincing them, obviously, by selling him to the people and telling them why they should support him. But then again, you have to understand that people are worried. Like Ms. Omahan said, not only the North, some Nigerians are worried because of the way things are going, and they have every reason to be worried, because it appears that Bola Ahmed Tinubu gets everything he's asking for, both from the judiciary or the legislatures. That worries a lot of people, and they have every right to say, if we allow this man to continue, there's a possibility that he would change the constitution and become, a life president. That's if he wants to, right? And unfortunately, the co-host is no longer here. Captain made a lot of valid point, because he mentioned what it would take constitutionally for one to change the constitution, right? But the Nigeria of today, what makes you feel that he will not get those things? If you see the way things are going, and I can give you one example, as you were asking for an example. I just gonna draw your attention back to what transpired prior to the what happened in Rivers State, right? The National Assembly, we had to follow their rules to count those who were in attendance. They didn't do that, right? And you know very well that you can disagree with me, that's fine. But it's very clear to the blind that since Mr. President has decided this is what he wants to do, the National Assembly did that, not to disrespect or not to make him feel that we cannot do what you're asking us to do for you. So that is why Nigerians are worried. So your job to convince them is a welcome, is something that you need to do, to tell myself and everybody why we should support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But for them to be worried that if allowed, he will continue, they have every reason to be. They have every right to be. Please, guys, I need somebody who uses iPhone, Mr. Ezekiel, if you can, to help bring people up. Captain is on the comment section. Sorry, he's on the speaker section, but I'm not able to see him. But I need somebody who can help.
Yeah, mine said I can do that.
Okay, then.
Fine.
Okay, I'll send you the mic to become to be a co-host if you can help. I saw Miss Umahan raising her hands. Is there Miss Umahan, you wanted to respond, or I will pass the mic to AA?
Yeah, actually, I wanted asking the last speaker, was it Mr. Adebayo? Some question, because he said he is not a politician and some of us wants to come in. I mean, it's a bit conflicting. So I want to ask him, where do some of us want to come in? And, since he's saying he's not a politician, what does he mean exactly by some of us want to come in?
Okay, Mr. Adebayo, do you mind? You want to respond to that question? Mr. Adebayo. All right, Miss Omahan, unfortunately, Miss Adebayo is not responding. I hope I'm still audible.
In case he's listening, I want to also add that because he said so many things have changed in the last 2 years. So I want to ask him if he knows that in 2022, our GDP per capita was 2,198 US dollars. And then in 2023, it was 1,597. By 2024, it is 877. And right now it is 835. So what exactly has changed?
Okay, Ms. Adiba, if you can hear me, and and it's not going to disturb your work. Miss Umahan, just ask a question if you don't mind responding, if it's safe to do so. Miss Umahan, unfortunately, Mr. Adebayo is not responding, so I do not know what the reason. Roy, you raise your hand. Roy.
Yes, thank you, Mindset. It's unfortunate that my network has been playing up, but I've been listening without being able to join. But thankfully now I'm here. I can go back to doing the hosting. But before then, I listen. Like I said, I listened to what the previous speakers have said, and Adebayo reiterated as well. But you see, it still doesn't change the fact of the matter and what we are talking about. This is from day one of this regime, as I like to call it. We saw the mutilation of election results that was accepted. But beyond that, there was an argument about what the winner of the election would need to have. We were arguing about conjunction and Abuja. I think it was 2/3 of the states and Abuja. Every lawyer that I spoke with on this aisle, on this side, outside of Nigeria, that had nothing to do, nothing to gain, no personal interest in the election. They already said what it meant, and we were all looking and saying, okay, right, whether based on technicality or based on the full interpretation of the law, it means Tinubu did not win. But what did we see? They manipulated it. They said it did not matter. It's not this, it's not that. All to make room for him to ascend. Much more than that, we saw how everything was being laid for him just to take the presidency, not minding that it will set precedents that would live beyond any one of us. And that's the thing with what's happening in Nigeria. Nobody thinks of, oh, let's do this thing because others that will come out, the children after us, and even their children after them. What are we setting? What foundations are we laying for them? We just do things the way we want and then go. The next person will come and rearrange or scatter, and they will go. So you see, uh, we all have, even from, I'll just give this as an example to Mr. Adebayo. We have about 190 people, 191 people listening here. Many of the speakers have already voiced their concerns. So you can extend that, you can project that to a community. There are many people that have these concerns. Whether you like it or not, that is the role of the opposition. We must give them, okay, let's listen, let's see. And we have also heard before, the way this forum works, these mindset spaces, he does surveys, he does polling, and he goes out there and does the groundwork. If these concerns were not there, we will not be in these spaces. It will not be a topic. Believe me, that's how it works. I don't know if you've been here before, or you've been here, but I mean, the way it works is we go out there, we figure out what people are talking about, and then we bring it on here. So it's a genuine concern. That's what I'm trying to say. I yield for now.
All right, thank you very much, Roy. Please, Roy, do you mind accepting to be a co-host, because there are persons who are on the DM saying that I'm not. I mean, the truth is I'm not able to see them, right? So, Roy, can you help?
No problem at all. Just like I said before, I'll drop and come back because I'm on the road, but no problem whatsoever.
Okay, I'll send you the request to be a co-host. Same with Mr. Ezekiel. Unfortunately, Mr. Ezekiel did not accept. Hopefully, Roy, you would accept
No,
to be.
no, Mike. Mine said I did not see your request. Unfortunately, I don't know why. I haven't seen. Maybe you can resend it again.
Okay, I've just sent it to you now, and I've sent it to Roy. So I'm not sure why we're having that problem to make either of you a co-host. But as we continue, sorry, Roy, go ahead. Your mic is on. I pass the mic to.
No, I can't see any request, mindset.
Okay, I have done it. Let me do it again. Okay, you know what I want? Okay, Roy, can you leave the platform? Ezekiel, do you mind, please? Both of you leave the platform. Let me see if we can correct whatever the problem is. Then we'll bring you guys up, right? If you can leave the spaces and rejoin again, maybe that would help. As I pass the mic to Mr. I don't know if he's a Mr. or Mrs., but AA Adamu Abba. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Nigeria. Hope everyone is well. Um, it is quite interesting to hear what the current concerns are regarding what the president is doing and whether he intends to perpetuate himself in power. And the good the good PR that is coming from the opposition. Now, if you invest yourself emotionally into the politics, and you will have a lot of these fears and you will have these concerns, but that is largely because we are in an environment that has not fully embodied what democracy means. And one of the good things that is happening now is that people are becoming more aware of the requirements for you to have the kind of leadership or the kind of democracy that you want. So the complaints around what the president wants to do and the alarms being set, this is part of I would say the recent good efforts that opposition is making. But previously to that, I would say that we didn't have a vibrant political landscape up until the president came and introduced some of the policies that have woken people up to understand that the people who gain from democracy are the people who invest vigilance in democracy. You cannot just sit at home in your comfort zone and just think that democracy is going to serve you. It doesn't work that way. You have to be invested in the process. And what does that really mean? What it means is that as a people, we have to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, are we really engaging in democracy? Are we engaging in this process that leads to our governance? Are we serious about the people who take decisions that affect our lives daily? And the truth is, if you cascade down above the presidency and come down to the state and local government levels, democracy is absent. Democracy is absent. What the president is trying to do is what we have seen governors do since we came back to democracy in 1999. But what is more important now is we are over centralizing the blame on the president and worried about the president to do something that has been the norm all along. I'm not trying to defend the president. I'm just trying to make us aware of what is happening. Now, the president recently asked the courts to try to force governors to allow money trickle down to local governments. For those who don't know, we used to operate a system where majority of our states did not even conduct local government elections. They had a concept called the caretaker chairman that was virtually appointed by a governor to just oversee that. And if you were to dig deeper to find out what was happening, the governors maintained control by not allowing democracy to operate at the local government level. And the local government chairman himself would operate the same system by not allowing democracy to operate at the ward level. So that has been the norm. Now, the president is coming to a point where he is raising these concerns, and these concerns are good. They are valid. I am happy that we have these concerns now. Because what it's going to do is it's going to push us to ask the fundamental questions. Are we really going to start paying attention to the people who are leading us? Or we are going to sit there and just assign blame conveniently and act entitled as if everybody is a royal in Nigeria? In fact, we are so royal that we expect the president to come and serve us right in our homes. That is how royal we are. And royal people don't benefit from democracy. People who benefit from democracy are the people who go outside, and try to protect that democracy when it is at risk in their local communities and also in the federal government. But it cannot be that you will overtake your chairman, he's not to blame. You overtake the governor, he's not to blame, with all his commissioners consuming billions in salary payments. They're not to blame. Your local government chairman is not to blame. You don't even know who that is. Your ward councillor is not to blame. You don't care about that. You are focused on the president. So the president needs to teach you a lesson. And I think that is what is happening now, because then, if you are serious enough, you are going to begin to check the hierarchy, the different links that connect you to the president, and you will begin to hold them accountable. And then you might get to a point where you start benefiting from democracy. But before you will benefit from democracy, or before we will benefit from democracy, there's another question we need to ask ourselves. Where are we going? What is the Nigeria that we believe would serve us? Because if we don't understand where the Nigeria that we are going to will be, what it looks like, and what it means for us as our lives, because trust me, if we get that Nigeria that we think we want, that is serving us, we will not be the same people. If we carry this mindset, and pun intended, Mr. Mindset, if we carry this mindset, we cannot go into the new Nigeria that works with our mindset that we have now. So something has to change. There is a pressure, there is a fear, there's a concern that has to change within us to get that Nigeria that we think we deserve. So without having that vision, we will have opposition people who will come and give us a lot of fear, but with no concrete evidence. Okay, you don't want Tinubu to perpetuate himself in power, but what is he doing that is wrong, that you don't want, that will not take you to the Nigeria that you want? Have the opposition people told you what they're going to do that is different? Because all I hear now is, this man doesn't come from our region. He may want to continue and make power dominate in that region. It has nothing to do with how they are going to come and serve us, other than the unsubstantiated panic that they are trying to feed the public. Now, trust me, I don't think what they're doing is wrong. It is part of the game. Spreading panic is part of the job of opposition. However, for the conscious people who are capable of coming to Clubhouse or coming to Twitter Spaces to speak and to discuss issues, you should understand that you have a mental responsibility to understand the requirements of the Nigeria that you want to see, so that you can filter between people who come and feed you panic and people who come and feed you substance. And then you can be able to guide other people to make smart political decisions that allows them to benefit from this democracy that we are talking about. So let me conclude here and listen to other speakers.
Yeah. Thank you, Larka.
Thank you. Sorry. Who might that be? Mr. Wyatt, please, can you kindly mute your mic, please? Can you mute your mic, please? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. AA, for your submission. You asked a question, and I believe not only myself, I believe some of the individuals on the on the speaker section would like to respond to that question. But let me start by saying this, by responding to you. Say, why is it that Nigerians are asking for Mr. President, right? Nigerians want an independent judiciary. Nigerians want an independent legislature. Nigerians want a place where, it doesn't matter if you're a member of the political party, but you're qualified to be in a position, in this position or that position. That's what Nigeria. I mean, Nigerians want a Nigeria where a child of nobody becomes somebody without knowing anybody. Please, this is not my quote. I believe it's somebody else that made that quote, but that is the Nigerian that myself, I believe you, and every other person are aiming for, right? And you ask, what is it that he has done that people are not comfortable? There's quite a number of things that a lot of Nigerians, not only from the North, because you didn't mention the North, but you said one of the reasons people are saying these things because the person, the president is not from their side. Yes, you might have a point, but most Nigerians who are neither have their persons in power or not, are complaining. It appears that everybody's saying this is not favoring every part of Nigeria. Like Miss Omahan said when I mentioned that it appears that the North won this thing, but she made it very clear that not only the North, right? I want to believe that there are both individuals as well from the Southwest who are not comfortable with Mr. President. So I would allow those who would like to contribute to be part of it. But please let me say this publicly. I don't want it to appear that I've not accepted anybody. I've tried to make Roy a co-host. It's not allowing. I mean, I've sent it 7 times. For some reason, it's not allowing Roy. Mr. Ezekiel is no longer here, and he's saying we have 2 co-hosts already. That's what pops up whenever I send the co-host. So I don't want anyone to feel that mindset is not allowing me to speak on the platform. Please, it's not from me. I do apologize. On that note, let's quickly pass the mic to Mr. Wyatt. Then we can come back to others. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the audience. I was just trying to make a few points on what the previous speaker was based on what Mr. AA was addressing. He's like we should ask the fundamental questions. And so I'm like, okay, what are these fundamental questions? Because this politics we talk about, it's not just about politics. It's our everyday life. It concerns our everyday lives. It's not something we should joke with. And as much as I've been in Nigeria for the past 20 years, I can conclude that the progress is quite slow and we need a change. And based on the facts from other speakers, the drop in the GDP levels over time, that is a significant loss. And economically, we are suffering. We deserve to understand that politics is not something we should look at with one sided eye. We should look at it with both eyes and see if we can make a way, because this concerns our lives. We cannot just treat it as politics. It's not just politics, it is our lives. Each decision makes a counter effect on our lives, each bill, each law that is being passed. So we should not look at this like something with. It is not something to be joked with at all. This is our everyday life. So, based on what the former speaker, Mr. A, was saying, we should start asking the fundamental questions. Now, what are the fundamental questions? What are the fundamental questions? When you talk about the host was talking about, we did an independent judiciary, we did an independent legislature, and that is true. As a government student, I clearly understood the principle of separation of powers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. What I'm seeing currently in the setting is there is no clear separation of powers in this administration. It's not just about Tinubu's administration. It's not about Jonathan's administration. The whole setting, it shows that there is no clear separation of powers from the executive to the legislature to the judiciary. We should have a clear separation of powers, so there would not be any arbitrary use or abuse, because from what I see, there is no clear separation of powers. And this is one of our major problems. When we talk about politics, we should look at the structure, the structure, the bills, the laws that set up the structure. We should look at it now, down to the INEX chairman's part. If you look at it, I was seeing on the news the other day that they were about to appoint a new INEC chairman and all that. I'm like, well, it's not really an issue, but the issue here is, when it comes to the things of INEC, I think the president should not have that absolute power to elect or appoint an INEC chairman, because we are humans. Favoritism will come in play. There is nothing you will tell me. Favoritism will come in play, because I would want to appoint someone that, of course, will favor me. So that alone shows that there is no clear separation of powers from the executive to the legislature to the judiciary. You get me? So that is just one point. Should we be asking, what are the fundamental questions we should be asking? Why should the president be able to appoint an INEC chairman just like that? That one alone can override whatsoever votes or whatsoever electoral process we have, because the INEC chairman is the head of the whole electoral process. Whatever he says stands. So we should look at that as well. That is just number one. Then, also, I'm a student. I've been in Nigeria for at least 20 something years. I schooled here, my university, everything. You get me? So why are we still discussing about stuff like ASU strike? That one alone is bad. I mean, that one alone is bad.
Sorry,
should just
sorry. I do apologize, Mr. Wyatt, for interjecting. Please behind me. I don't want us to digress from the topic. Please, can you
okay,
kindly
okay.
mute your mic?
Sorry,
Please,
sorry,
can you mute
sorry
your...
for
No,
digressing.
it's
Sorry
okay.
for
It's okay.
so
Okay. No.
like I
One
was no.
minute, sir.
Let me just make
One.
one more point.
Please. If you don't mind,
Just one
I will
point.
allow
One
you
more
to speak,
point.
but don't worry. I would allow you to speak, but I want to address it. The reason I want to address it, I don't want the next speaker to continue where you stop, and then we are moving from the topic, right? I want us to come back to the topic.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, one of the things that we started with is that is this fear in Nigeria that if Bola Tinubu wants to be a life president, he can't be the life president. And there are persons like Mr. Adebayo disagreed, and others are saying yes, because the judiciary, the legislature, and everything, it appears everybody's working for him, right? I want us to come back to that topic, so I do not want us to digress, if that's okay with you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not digressing. It's just that I'm trying to make a solid point. I'm not digressing. When I brought in the ASU strike, I said it should not be an issue, given the fact that we've been a republic for over 60 something years now. That aside. So I'm asking, based on what Mr. A said. He said, are we asking the fundamental questions, not asking if he's from a region or something, So I'm like, okay, what are these fundamental questions? I also have another question. Is the government betraying the citizens? Because from the news, we are a federation. We have mode of identifications. We know people that are Nigerians. We know people that are externals. You get me? We should be asking the right questions. When you talk about insecurity, that alone should be a major issue, because they are not really concerned. Or everyone is just asking about who's going to be the next president. That is not the problem. Anybody can be the president, but the issues remain. What are we asking the right questions? You get me? So that's all I have to say. I don't mean to digress. Thank you.
And I thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful submission. We have a problem, and it's very clear. It's very important that I let the House know that we have a problem. Some persons are saying that they are not able to see the spaces, right? They can't see the spaces. The spaces is not showing up. They are not able to join. So there is absolutely nothing I can do. I've tried everything. The only thing I can do is to end the spaces and open another one, but I don't think that would be fair to those on the speaker section. So we are going to try and continue. And then if there's anything else we can do to bring others to be part of the conversation, I will try my best. I know some of you will say, "I said change this your Android." I love Android. I'm sorry. I don't think this has to do with Apple. This might be a Twitter's problem. But let me quickly pass the mic to Big Sam. Big Sam, you have the mic, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Mindset. Yeah, let me start by saying that the conversation today is very, very interesting. And I like the way AA and Adebayo is defending the president. But for me, I can't defend the president, the person that occupying the position as the president of Nigeria today, because he have done a lot of things that makes not only northern and not even not everybody in Nigeria is afraid of the next move of the president when if he eventually he wins the election in 2027. Everybody is afraid. So he have done a lot of things that make people to be worried. Nobody ask him question. You don't have any right to ask him why are you doing this. He has control of judiciary. He has control of governors. If you say anything, he can remove you at any time. Nobody will say anything. Everybody sees what happened to River State. He removed the governor. They fight for it. They go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court didn't say anything. They step on the feet. They step feet on the application they put for the case to be reviewed. Till today, nobody talk about anything, and nobody is going to say anything. So there is a lot of things that will make you to worry, to know that the man is not a planning of leaving the ASU. He want to establish. He want to be the overrule. He want to be the everything that will happen to Nigeria. Even if eventually he want to leave after 2031, if he win 2027 and reach 2031, he's going to put another person that he would still be controlling the way he's doing in Lagos. Is the way he planted himself in Lagos since he left office. He left office from Lagos, but he still determine what will happen in Lagos, what will do, who you will be the governor, you will be this, you will be that. If you refuse from his distance, he will remove you. So Nigerians need to be worried. Everybody need to be worried. We are not talking that the person that is occupying the position of president is not doing, he didn't do any right thing at all, starting from the first day. Is it the election you are going to talk about? How he got in there, how they manipulated everything, how the judiciary favor, everything is made in his favor. When he enters, everybody, we don't have national assembly now. We don't have opposition. They are saying that it is the few people in the opposition that is talking that the president is not doing well. It is not only in opposition. Everybody is feeling it. You might be benefiting from what is happening today, but tomorrow that thing you are benefiting from might hurt you. If it didn't hurt you, it will hurt your children. We are not going to live in Nigeria forever. What we are fighting is in Nigeria for the future of our children. We need to lay a standard. We have a separation of power. Judiciary has his own independence. Legislature has their own independence. Eh? So that is how you know the country that is progressing. It is not about the president will control everything. President will say this, whatever things president say happen. You see other countries, you see how their legislature, their executive, everything function normally. Executive will bring this, legislature will say no, it can't happen. These ones will say no, it can't happen. Judiciary will throw it away. But in Nigeria, once the president say, everybody will stamp on it. I, I don't think, I think everybody's fear is valid. It's very, very possible. Nothing is not possible in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam, for your wonderful contribution. So, Mr. Sam agreed with the other speakers that there is a possibility that if Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to continue after 2031, if he wins 2027, that there's a possibility that is, he will get it. He might make himself a life president. That's the conversation. Do you think there's a possibility that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will continue if you win the 2027 election, that people are worried and they have every reason to be worried? Miss Stella, okay, Roy, you raised your hand before I go to Miss Stella. Roy, go ahead, please. Miss Stella, I'll come back to you. I can see your hand.
Yeah. Sorry, Mindset. I just wanted to respond to something and then make a point as well. I think it's very dangerous the way we are going. I mean, we are kind of perpetuating ignorance and illiteracy. It is one of the reasons why I truly, truly appreciate Professor Chidi Odinkalu. And I'll say this because he is one of those that I see is very, very objective. We have a couple of others as well, Dele Farotimi and Inibehi Efyong. Sorry, I hope I got his surname correct. Why I say this is because we saw senior advocates of Nigeria defending or trying to say what's happened between Obasanjo and Tinubu when Tinubu was governor was uh, kind of tyranny against Tinubu. Tinubu created 37 local government development areas, and that was on top of 20 local government areas. The government of that day, the Obasanjo administration, declared it illegal, announced it out why it was illegal. And to counter Obasanjo, Tinubu installed caretaker committees to run the LCDAs rather than conduct elections. Basically, he created the parallel structure of caretaker-led councils in Lagos. As someone is coming here now to say, why are people wanting Tinubu to not continue as president? And that's right after uh, I've forgotten her name now. The one you struggle with, her name. Mindset had mentioned GDP, the country's GDP, and how it was dwindling right here in these spaces. We can look at security and the number of deaths since 2023. Let's not even count everyone that APC has been involved in. Let's just stick to Tinubu. Security, dwindling. Healthcare, he travels abroad for his healthcare. So does Wiki. So has Akpabio and many others. Many of them are even silent. We don't know about. So what don't we have a right to say about changing? Or I mean, that's how democracy works. You might think you're doing 100%. It's still the right of citizens to say we don't want you to continue into the next. We want better. That is how democracy works. But like I said, 8 years of Tinubu as governor, caretaker committees dominated local governance. And when people just come out to say, hey, I want to do blah, 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 that's typical of APC. They work based on propaganda. We will do, we will do. We will do, they said for 10 years. Because they know what the people want to hear. And if we challenge them to follow up with actions, that is the right of a citizen. Action. We don't just want to hear, oh, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. We're used to all that. We're not children. So it's the right of citizens to task those in governance. They must act. And if they've acted, fine, we'll move on to the next thing to task them with. We want a better Nigeria. Tinubu weakened local democracy in Lagos. We know that he's the same person that called a Governor Eleyi. He's the same. Look, we know his hand with Ambode. We know what I mean. I'm going beyond just local government now. I'm talking about his national influence, if you like. He defended governors who dissolved elected local councils as well and appointed caretakers. It's not a today thing. We're not children. Diverted local government funds to the state level. He did. So looking for constitutional loopholes has always been his game. We can set up another spaces to deal with that. It will take us 5 hours to even just start at 1% of that. So I mean, let's be realistic. We're telling ourselves, we've asked ourselves to please let's tell ourselves the truth. We want better for this country, and it will never happen if we don't tell ourselves the truth. I yield.
All right, thank you very much, Roy, for your submission. Now, Roy, it's one thing to blame Bola Tinubu and say he did this thing, he did that thing. I mean, for whatever he did in Lagos State, right? I'm not holding brief for him. He's the president of Nigeria. So if Nigerians don't want Bola Tinubu in 2027, or if the opposition don't want Bola Tinubu in 2027, they need to start telling, speaking out more and telling other Nigerians why Bola Tinubu should not be allowed to continue, right? Because the argument or this, that he did this thing in Lagos and everything, for whatever reason, for whatever thing that everybody have accused him of doing in Lagos, he is the president. All right. And I think that's one of the reasons that people are a bit worried that because he got away with a lot of things in Lagos, now he's the president, he might want to get away with a lot of things. So I think Nigerians need to speak up more, right? Whether you like his style of government or you don't like his style of government, the thing about him continue after 2027, if he wins the 2027 election, is something that Nigerians have to really, really focus on. And I like the fact you mentioned Prof. Prof was one of the first individual that spoke about if Bola Tinubu wants to continue in 2027, he will do that. That if he wants to, right? Because of the way things are. I'm paraphrasing. This is not his word, but I'm paraphrasing. So, hearing it from others and this, hearing it from the likes of Nasir El-Rufai and everybody, people are worried about it. And APC responded saying Bola Tinubu is a Democrat, that he's not going to do this. And it's left for Nigerians. And like Mr. AA and Mr. Adebayo tried to defend it here, they have every right to say, you guys don't know this person, like Mr. Adebayo said. He's known Bola Tinubu for a long time. Bola Tinubu is not going to do this and he's not going to do that. He's going to do his 4 years if he wins the election and then he will move. But this is what the conversation is all about. Miss Stella, please go ahead. You raise your hand.
Okay, thank you once again. I think we've all spoken well and we are all more on the same side. Not because we have a natural hatred for Mr. President, but because we are looking into his record. It's unclear what he would want to do, but we are looking at his past, his record, to ascertain, at least to some extent, what he could do. People said he's a Democrat. Some people rather, that we should speak up, and what are we asking him to do? We should ask him questions. The problem isn't that we are not asking. The question is that we are being shut down, shut up. You can't speak. You can't even go to court and get judgment. You can't say anything. Even you can't even hold your representatives accountable because Mr. President is in charge. Many people have raised their concerns, which are all valid. One of the co-speakers said something, co-host rather, said something about the conditions to be able to achieve a third term, and enumerated the conditions and the process. Now, APC has 23 governors, and more may eventually move to APC from other parties. So there's a tendency that he is tilting towards that. And knowing who he is, his domineering nature, Nigerians are worried, Nigerians are concerned, and it is valid. I wish we would just take this up, or someone who is better than Adebayo, who is better informed rather than Adebayo, who is Tinubu's defender or supporter, could come up to challenge this our concern in a way that we will understand. Because there's nothing left for us. It's a state capture. It's been captured. We are just handicapped. We can't do nothing. So the only thing we can do is to make sure that he doesn't continue, because he wouldn't repent just today. He wouldn't change his character. He's been like that. The Lagos State people cited it. And the way he came up there, how Nigerian constitution has been destroyed completely at the court because he didn't win Abuja, and our constitution, with someone said we were interpreting English with English, explaining English with English, just to make sure that he gets up there. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care, like I said before. He doesn't care. From the moment, the only thing he cares about is himself, dominating, being the head of state, being in charge. And if you stand on his way, we all know that. So that's all I want to add to what we say. It is all well-meaning Nigerians that are concerned. It's not about party. It's about our country. It's about the system. It's about good governance. It's about things working in accordance with the law and constitution. And if we decide to amend, we will amend because there is need for it for us to move forward, to measure up with the global world and other activities that are going on in the world. And not because somebody's personal ambition to become the head and chief in all and everything, So please, I'm appealing to us. We should escalate this topic and let Nigerians decide and ponder over it to know if this man is worthy of getting our votes or being there, or we should stop him. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stella, for your wonderful submission as always. Now let me react to some of the things you say. Mr. Adebayo, to be fair to him, I don't know if there's any other person in APC that will sell Bola Tinubu better than Mr. Adebayo has done on this platform. So, I mean, he has done very well. If there's any other person that believes that they can do better than him, they are welcome to join the spaces and request for the mic, and would allow them to speak. But Mr. Adebayo has done his best, and I think he has defended Bola Tinubu very well. But I really like your point, the point that you made. It's one thing for us just to look at things and we move on. We have this tendency of moving on, right? We move, we speak on things, we move. And sometimes this thing come back to bite us. Prof was the first person, as I said earlier on, to mention something akin to this. And everybody felt, okay, it's not going to happen. But you can see if you're very close, not you, please, every other person on this platform, everybody on the platform, if you're very close to some politicians, both in the APC PDP, and ADC and what have you, other projects, you can see some of them are worried. Even those who are part of the APC, as I said to Mr. Adebayo, some of them are worried that what if this happens? What if this person made himself this, right? What do we do? It's something that Nigerians are worried. And I really like the fact that Ms. Umahan corrected me to say it's not only the North. Nigerians are worried about it. So it's left for APC to tell Nigerians why they shouldn't worry about it and, convince Nigerians that Bola Tinubu will only serve another 4 years if Nigerians were to vote for him. But everybody who is concerned, who is worried about it, they have very reasons to be worried, about it. And the point you made about APC having governors, there are a few governors who might join them very soon. So that will give them the 24 governors that they're looking for. Then, the local government is controlled by the governors, right? These things, it looks difficult. But if truly Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants this is my view. I believe he will get it. I might be wrong, but if he truly, Bola Tinubu wants to change the constitution to go for 6 years, or he wants to continue after 2031, I believe he will get it, because the support with the governors and the local governments and, other institutions that will help him, I think, it's as good as that he has everything that he's, at an stable at this point. This is my view. I believe he will get it if he truly wants it. But if he doesn't want it, then that's what it is. So, guys, it's been a very interesting conversation. Quite a number of persons on my DM saying that I'm not able to see them to bring them up. I don't know what happened, and we don't have any other speaker. So I think Miss Umahan, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, thank you. I don't want it to be only two speakers speaking. Mr. AA, you still with us, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So if any of you wants to respond or have any other thing to contribute based on what you have heard from Ms. Stella, Roy, Sam, and myself, please, you're free to raise your hand and we'll pass the mic to you. But if there's nothing else for us to add, then we might end the spaces and hopefully come up some other time to give others an opportunity to be part of it. AA, your mic is on.
Yes. Sorry, I just want to conclude with something that I think is most important. What we need to have as a society, I think, is very, very important that we understand what we need to have, because a lot of societies, if you look at the history of how successful societies have emerged, they have not emerged because things have gone on for them smoothly. No, there have to be difficult moments where the people decide to come together and either go through something, be it a war, conflicts, or some kind of very stressful situation as a whole. What we are seeing now is that whether through the tax reform, removal of subsidy, or the way the Tinubu is harmonizing the politics, he is uniting the people. This is creating a new kind of conversation that is going to lead to the birth of conscious Nigerians. So a lot of people have thought of revolution when they talk about revolution, or where Nigerians rise up and get power. They think about it in a violent way. Or they need to have destructions and so on and so forth. But the truth is, it's a mental state change. It's this change in the psychology and the psyche of the typical Nigerian. Today, we have a very different set of expectations and entitlements as Nigerians. So what's important is this ability of Nigerians to remove people who don't represent them. We have not had that in a very long time. Now, with Tinubu coming to consolidate his authority between the National Assembly and the judiciary and everything, now Nigerians are going to realize what it takes to keep, to first of all get the power and keep that power to remove leaders who are not serving. The idea that you can recall a senator that is not representing you at National Assembly level is only on paper, but you need pockets and clusters of people who can evaluate these representatives and say these guys are not representing us, and we will recall them. I've not seen a single time any member of House of Reps was recalled in Nigeria. I've never seen it. I've never seen any governor being impeached by his state House of Assembly. Without these impeachments, what we are saying is that that authority that people should have to remove their leaders is only theoretical. And for it to become practical, we need to have a significant amount of conscious people that can stimulate a large number of people to do petitions and recall these guys. We've had very embarrassing representation at all levels. But as long as we are people who are worried about the meager things and not the fundamental things, we will not be able to have that power. And as long as we are not working to get that collective power, we deserve whatever leadership we get. Because you have to decide and determine what you believe you deserve and fight for it. But we are still on the defensive, not on the offensive. You can't expect to just shoot your political authority or political demand straight to Tinubu. It will never work. The system is not designed for you to hit Tinubu. But you should be able to cook your House of Rep members. You should be able to cook your senators so that they are afraid. And every time they are in the National Assembly, they have to decide whether they should protect you or Tinubu. And they should be more afraid of disappointing you than disappointing the president. But you cannot achieve that if you allow yourselves to remain docile. All right? The way we are behaving politically by not being able to coordinate ourselves on a local level is the reason why we have senators who are going to go and become rubber stamp, because they can get away with it. Look, it's fundamental human nature. If a politician believes he will get away with something, there is no incentive for him to represent you. Because if he fails you, what will you do? It's that simple question. What are you willing to do if the person you elect does not do the job you want him to do? Today, we are telling them that we will go and complain and cry. But unless we get to a point where they know that we will remove them within 3 months, that's one. Number two, we can even send them on exile out of the country, or we can put them in jail. Then they will not be ready to serve us. That should be our focus. How do we keep, first of all, how do we recapture that citizen power, and how do we wield it, and how do we retain it? Because at the end of the day, if we are scaring all these 109 senators, Tinubu himself will not be able to get away with anything. And that is what matters, because they are the only ones that can impeach him and remove him from Aso Rock. But they are not afraid of us. And that is the main issue. So everything we will hear stories. This is just the beginning. And I hope it gets more interesting. I hope the opposition will wake up. But if the opposition is not going to give us power to hold the Senate and be able to remove that Senate and make us aware of our citizens' power, they are also going to be worse than Tinubu, because it has been the trend in Nigeria. First, it was Obasanjo. They said, oh, he was bad, he was dictatorial. Then Yar'Adua came. Unfortunately, he didn't last long enough. Then Goodluck came. Goodluck, we said, oh, we preferred Obasanjo over Goodluck. Then Buhari came and we said, no, we prefer Goodluck over Buhari. Now Buhari is gone. People are saying they prefer Buhari over Tinubu. Do you see the pattern? It seems that unless we recapture this power of the citizen, where we say we can remove from local government level up to the National Assembly level. If someone is not serving us, we can pull them out and put someone who will serve us there. Unless we keep this power, we will get the next president and he will be genuinely worse than Tinubu. We think we have seen something, but we have not seen anything unless we capture that citizen power. Now, the question for us remains, are the opposition teaching us how to capture that citizen power or not? Because if they don't teach us, trust me, they are investing their money in this opposition. Once they get there, they will do what Tinubu will become a joke to us. So we should be really conscious of this.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. For your submission. Now, I needed to correct some of the things that you said because of time. You did mention that that no local government or governor have been impeached in Nigeria, right? Please, I want to be sure that that's what you said before I would proceed.
Well, I'm saying in relative terms, there is a story of Peter Obi who got that he experienced and he went back. But how often do you see that happening across the 36 states?
Okay.
And
so,
how is that a response to the performance of the governors?
All right. Thank you. The reason I wanted to react to that is because, you know, this platform, there's a way things work here. I mean, it might not be the best platform politically, but we try to make sure that whatever that is being said here is something that we are here to learn, right? And if there's somebody that just joined the platform or the spaces and listening to you, they might say, okay, but that's not correct. So hence I wanted to take you back to it. Not only Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor of Bayelsa State, the late Debre Alamisaya, I mean, there's quite a number of them, Molitola Iyako, Ayo Fayose, and the rest of them. These guys have been impeached. So we just got to be very factual with this thing. But I like the fact that you rephrase it this in this present time so that it has not happened, right? Mr. A, so you understand where I'm coming from. I'm not here to make it feel like you don't know what you're talking about, but you understand the reason I wanted to.
Yeah, what I'm insinuating doesn't. I'm not giving live data out of actual events. I'm saying the point still stands. We as citizens are more reactive and passive for us to expect the performance we need from our government. We have incidents. I have not seen, correct me if I'm wrong, I was referring to National Assembly. I have not seen a single senator from National Assembly that has been recalled on the fact that he was not performing. And his people came, they signed a petition, and the requirements to recall a senator, they are the constitutional requirements. They attempted to do it for this senator from Kogi State recently. I don't remember the details of it. But the INEC threw the issue out. I think it was Natasha that they started doing this on. The point I'm making is that the process of recalling and holding these leaders accountable has not been in practice. I mentioned it on paper. Yes, you can recall a senator, you can recall a House of Rep member, but if it is not seen in practice, then are you saying that all 109 senators are performing optimally, or all the 300 and something House of Rep members are doing their best and their people are happy with them? If their people are happy with them, then why are we complaining?
Sorry, Mr. A, if I may come in, please. Yeah, I heard you say you spoke about the National Assembly, but the only thing I wanted to correct is when you mentioned governors, right? So the senators and House of Rep members are not correcting that. I'm just trying to correct the fact that you talked about no governor has been impeached. So I wanted to correct that because of our listeners. But thank you very, very much for your wonderful submission. Let me quickly read out some of the things on the comment section. Mr. Ismail says, sir, please try to please try restarting your phones maybe twice in a week and remove cartridges in your phone storage. Free the phone storage as well, so that it will be free to connect and function well, sir. I always enjoy your space. Is just this not bringing up most, I don't know. Okay, thank you very much. I think I understood what you're trying to say. I don't know what the problem is. We did have Roy and Captain trying to help the co-host, but Roy is there. I've sent him the co-host, but he's not able to see it. And it might be from Twitter. It might be because I'm using my Android phone, which I love so much, right? But thank you very much. So I will do whatever I can to make sure that I give people opportunity to be part of the conversation. But it's been a very interesting conversation. As we round up quickly, there are others requesting for the mic. Unfortunately, I am not able to see them, and I do not have any co-hosts, right? I think what we need to do now is to end this particular topic. Hopefully, we would come up with a different topic. But it's very, very important for Nigerians to know that the power belongs to them, like Mr. A have said. And Ms. Umahin corrected myself and in about not only the Northerners worried that Bola Ahmed Tinubu might decide to go for third time. And thanks to Roy as well and to Miss Stella, who actually let us, brought this thing to us right now, that there's this bill going on in the National Assembly of making a prime minister and everything. This is what, and to Mr. Sam as well, this is what the platform is all about. We are all here to learn. We are here to learn from one another, right? Nobody knows it all, right? Some of the things that we and to my very good friend, where is he, Mr. Adebayo, which he's an APC member who always try his best to come here and defend. So not APC member, I do apologize. Bola Ahmed Tinubu supporter who always make himself available to come on this platform to speak, in as much as he might be the only person. But I must thank you guys. I must thank you guys very much for always making your time, and we'll continue to speak. We'll continue to learn from one another. That's what the platform is all about. I can see people raising their hands. Am I missing anything? Miss Omahan, go ahead.
Thank you. So I want to respond to or ask him some questions to AA, because he did say so many things. I forgot some of the things he mentioned actually. But one of the things is that Nigerians are docile and we tend to be reactive. And then on the other hand, I see this conversation as, something proactive. It's not just paranoia or fear mongering. It's something that people have carefully observed trends and patterns, and they came to this main conclusion that this is a thing of, like, it's an impending thing that could happen. And I think it's a good thing that this conversation is happening at this point in time. It's not politicians or what have you beating the drums and inciting fear among the people. And then on the other hand, you also said that, are we asking the fundamental questions or we are just talking da, 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 da. I think that during their campaign, one of the things that they campaigned on, or the Tinubu administration campaigned on, is that they will create millions of jobs. They have several campaign promises on different sectors. And then for someone like me, I go back and I look at it, especially when you're thinking of creating jobs. When we look at our population with our median age, we have a huge youthful population. And one of the easy ways to create jobs is to make easy establishing industries within the country. And I can't help but ask myself at this point, like 50% of, more than 50% of our generated power is going to our homes. Only around 24% is going to the industry. But we've had this AKK projects, because one of the policies for making easy access to energy for industries is this IPP arrangement that they have, because of the losses that we somehow encounter during distribution from the grids to industry. And for an administration that is really concerned about the creation of jobs, you will think that they will push forward the completion of projects like this because of the promises they hold for some of their campaign promises. And I look up the status of the AKK project, and it's still, at some 80-something%. And even that is not like, well, we have to just wait and see. And then other things is when we look at the issue of security, I'm from the North. And this is something that we've been struggling with for a long time, even though the media is not reporting some of the security concerns that we have now as it used to be in the past. But I remember when he set up his cabinet, there was huge outcry from the northern quarters, concerns about the competence of the people he put in the Ministry of Ministry of Defense. But how did he respond to that? And one of the things that people sold him with during the campaign season was that he has a history of putting round pegs in round holes. It is likely that when he comes on board, he will work with technocrats, he will work with people that will move things fast, etc., etc. But did that really happen? So our concerns, I am not a politician. I am a Nigerian. I want a better Nigerian. I want the quality of life of the average Nigerians to be better than it is. But because we have the resources, unfortunately, we are struggling with uneven distribution of these resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Omahan. I'm getting the name right. I believe I'm getting the name right. I'm doing my best, right? I'm getting it right. All right. I would have loved to talk. Okay, go ahead. Your mic is on. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You can call me Asma.
Pardon? Sorry, I missed that. I hope I'm still audible.
She said you can call her Asmau.
Okay, I will try. I will try and learn that one as well. But thank you very much. You said something, and I'm looking at the time. I'm thinking insecurity. You talked about insecurity in the north. Not only in the north, there is insecurity in every part of Nigeria. And you spoke about when Bola Tinubu was picking his ministers. You know, everyone was thinking that he knows what he's doing, but there are people who would argue that yes, he might not have chose the right persons in, because things have not really improved in security. But don't you think that giving the minister of defense to a northerner was something that he thought about? Say, if I have somebody from the north, please, I'm not just going to make it a northern thing, but I wanted to respond to what you said. This person understands his people very well. This person understands the problem in the north, right? Is that Bola Tinubu's problem that he chose somebody who he believed would do the job, or is it the problem of the individual that he chose? Ms. Omahan, if you don't mind responding to that quickly.
I think the concern then was on the competence of the ministers, even though they are from the north, they are not the only northerners. At the time, many felt that there were probably northerners that, have more expertise on security and even the entire defense infrastructure that could do better. I don't have any name, but then, from what we've been told, I looked also at the profile of the people. And then particularly one of the ministers, I know that even people from his states has a lot of concern over him having EFCC cases. So, these are just things that people are very much concerned about, because most of the people that are working with Tinubu at the moment are people that have, this there are, a lot of questions regarding their credibility. Some of them have EFCC cases, etc., stuff like that. So for me, that is one of my concerns.
All right, thank you very much for your submission. And we're going to round up this conversation. Maybe we'll come up with a different one. I don't want to, because I just asked that question. I don't want us to digress into insecurity. The conversation we started this morning with, people are worried that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if he wins the 2027 election, will continue. He might change the constitution to continue to become a lifetime president. And we have heard from those who are his supporters who said, no, we know this man very well. He's not going to do anything of such, right? And then we have other Nigerians on this platform who are very, very worried about it, saying that people need to be worried because of the way things are, the judiciary, the legislatures and everything, it appears that he's in control of them. So that's what the conversation is all about. I can see Gege has just joined us. Gege, that's what we are discussing before I responded to Ms. Pumahan. Gege, if you don't mind, if you want to add something to what I've just said in a minute or two, I would like to start another spaces to speak on insecurity. I think that would be a good topic to discuss, and hopefully I will be able to bring others up. Gege, you have the mic. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Mindset. Good morning. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I'll just be brief. So on the issues you were discussing, it's not hidden that I'm not a supporter of Bola Tinubu. In fact, I think he's the embodiment of many of the problems that Nigeria has. But the problem with the APC, like we said in 2015, is that the APC is a poisonous cancer that spreads everywhere. Now, Nasir El-Rufai came from that system, so all they do is throw lies at each other. Bola Tinubu is not planning any third term anywhere. He's a horrible president, horrible person. I have many negative things to say about him, but he's not planning any third term anywhere. The El-Rufai is just doing what El-Rufai always does. When El-Rufai was with the APC, this was how he just threw lies against Jonathan. One morning they'll say Jonathan has 7 wives. Another morning they'll say they found 50 billion in Jonathan's bedroom. You remember El-Rufai claiming that Jonathan spent how many billions on Independence Day birthday cake for Nigeria. So this is what he does. He's the deputy poison. So if Tinubu is the main poison, El-Rufai is the deputy poison. And that's one of the reasons why I'm a Peter Obi supporter. But I've always said, look, any way if Peter Obi joins any kind of alliance with El-Rufai, I'm just sitting on the fence. There's no way I'll support it because he and Bola Tinubu are the same. All they do is just spread lies that divide as opposed to unite. This is not a time for divisive type of messaging. If you want to tackle Bola Tinubu, tackle him on the policies and disagree on the policies. Don't throw in ethnic or divisive rhetoric, which is what El-Rufai always does. Anyway, time is up, so I yield the mic.
All right, thank you very much, Gege. Wow, that's quite interesting listening to you defending Bola Tinubu. I mean, the thing here is this: the conversation is not only centered on what El-Rufai said. I mean, we didn't start it because El-Rufai said it. There are other Nigerians, right, who has actually voiced this thing out publicly, and to myself, there are some people that I've spoken to privately, who said they are worried about this. Right, so I don't want us to. I respect your view, but I just don't want it to be because it was El-Rufai that said it. But let me ask you this question, Gege, if you don't mind. I don't mind leaving this space for a little while because you came up with a different perspective right now. Let's say you didn't hear it from El-Rufai, right? El-Rufai didn't say any of this, and any other politician in Nigeria come up to, okay, let me remove politician. If El-Rufai didn't say this, do you think Bola Tinubu have the tendency of going for third time? Let's just remove El-Rufai saying it publicly.
Well, okay, we have to look at their antecedents to see what they're like. Since 1999, the only leader who actively tried to extend his tenure has been Obasanjo. And the seeds were there. There were people coming out saying they wanted Obasanjo to extend his tenure, and business people came out, international community, all kinds of characters. Money was being spent to propagate that. So that's how we knew it was true. With Bola Tinubu, there's no evidence anywhere that anybody's canvassing this or that he's canvassing it or money has been shared for that purpose. With Bola Tinubu, the main thing with him is, yes, he's corrupt. Yes, he likes to spread his tentacles, but his own approach is to put his people in key positions so that he controls the thing from Bodilon, not necessarily that he himself will be there. But the big elephant in the room, which I'm sure we all know, is Bola Tinubu is not well. In fact, from, I don't want to reveal sources, but from people who I know who are very close to the throne, as we say, it is by the grace of God that the dude is still alive. So the prayer that people should be praying is that he can even survive till 2031, because that's how ill he is. So that's the least of all the things that are worrying me about Nigeria. Bola Tinubu extending his tenure is not one of them, because it's not even guaranteed that he might last the next 2 to 3 years, not to talk of being a life president. That's how ill and old he is. So to be honest, I don't think it's even an issue that people should be worried about. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you very much, Gege. I mean, this is life, right? Anybody can fall ill. We had it during the election from 2022 that Bola Tinubu is not well, and a lot of people make a lot of jokes about the way he speaks and his mannerism. He's not able to respond to a lot of things, but lo and behold, he's still here, right? People were saying he can, at the point people were asking where is Bola Tinubu, he's been flown to this places. There are all kinds of things that a lot of people say, but the man made it. All right. So I'm not saying, please hear me out. I'm not saying your source is wrong, the information, but I'm just saying that if we're going to look at it that he's ill, everybody can fall ill. But he succeeded in the first term, right? And there's a possibility if if he's well looked after and if he's ill truly, that he will still survive this one. It depends how things plays out. But I will leave it at that, and let Nigerians make that decision for themselves. Gege, you raised your hand earlier on when I was speaking. This conversation is getting interesting.
Oh, yes. I was just saying that this is not, maybe I used the wrong word. It's not ill. Bola Tinubu is gravely sick. So it's not like he has a cold that you can take treatment for. He is chronically ill. He's chronically unwell. You can see that's why he disappears. Every time he travels, they make a detour to France, or he has to go and see his doctors in one place or the other. If you calculate it, almost every 6 weeks, he has to leave the country to go to France to see his doctor. They'll say one time it's annual leave, the next time is working leave, the other time it's working vacation. They change the name, but he constantly needs his doctors left, right, and center with him. And you can see it on TV. When he walks, he can barely move. You can see his gait. You can see the movement of his hands. He's very old. So it's the equivalent of saying you have an 80-year-old grandmother, and we are saying, well, yes, anybody can be ill. No, when somebody is 80, you know they are quarter to go at any time. So Bola Tinubu, even setting aside that the fact he's gravely ill, he's also very old. So I would not be, if it was a young person like El Rufai, or relatively young person like El Rufai, and they said the person wanted a life presidency, I would be worried because El Rufai is relatively young and healthy. But Bola Tinubu is like your grandmother who is in her 80s. They're telling you that your grandmother is planning a life presidency. That's how ridiculous the thing will be, because you're looking at your grandmother thinking this is a woman that at any point can go. What life presidency are we talking about? So that's Tinubu. Tinubu is old. So to be honest, I have it literally causes me no sleep to hear he's planning a life presidency. What would that be? Like an extra 1 year or an extra 5 minutes? He's too old for this games. I yield the mic.
Okay, thank you, Gege. As I said, anybody can fall sick, and I'm very, very when it comes to sickness and everything, I'm always very, very, very careful with it. The reason I say this is because 2022, we had all kinds of things, right? That Bola Tinubu is ill and he was not going to make it and everything, but he has succeeded in being here for this time. But I believe that your source, and you have people who give you this information, which I'm not going to argue. One thing that I do is not arguing with the things that I don't really know much about. I just don't want to be everywhere and be nowhere. But I respect the fact that you're saying that, one thing that worries you is not the fact that Bola Tinubu will continue, just that he's not well enough to even continue for 2027. But that's Gege's own opinion. If you disagree with Gege and you think that what he said is not factual or is wrong, please, you can request for the mic or raise your hand and be part of the conversation. One thing we're not going to condone is being on the comment section and start calling people names. This is Gege's own view. The way he looked at it based on the information available to him, right? I do not think there's any other thing to add in this particular topic. I would like us to talk about insecurity. If anybody is against that, because Ms. Umahan raised that I will be happy for us to start that by 12 o'clock. We have 4 minutes to run this particular topic up. If there's any other thing anybody wants to add in terms of Bola Tinubu going for third time, please do raise your hand. For a minute, I will pass the mic to you. Miss Stella, you have the mic, please. Go ahead.
Thank you once again. Okay, like you rightly said, is Mr. Gege's opinion, but it's unfortunate that we still do not learn. Going back to 2015, we were told that about Buhari. Buhari looked senile. He literally collapsed into chairs when you see him in public, but he lasted for 8 years. If Tinubu was that sick, and you're talking about a year or two, and he is there singing on your mandate, moving forward to contest in 2027. So who is fooling who? We've seen this before, and trying to take us towards that direction so that we would not look at the real thing critically, is laughable rather. So my point is that whether he's sick or not is inconsequential. And like Mindset said, everyone can be sick. Yaradua was sick. He died. We missed him, because he was a good man. We are talking about his character, who he is, the tendencies, and the handwriting is very clear. They did that, like I said earlier, with Buhari, and Buhari did his 8 years. And Tinubu is moving on to do his 8 years and perhaps become a life president. If that is what he wants, forget about life. It's only God who holds it, and not this projection about him not even going to be able to be alive there. That's all I have to say again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Miss Stella's view, and she's responding to Gege, right? So if anybody disagree with Miss Stella or Gege, please do raise your hand. But before I pass the mic to those on the comments on the speaker section, let me quickly read out what Mr. Ayodele said on the comments section. He said, mindset, I don't think President Bola Tinubu can seek that term. This is just a distraction from El-Rufai. This is a country where there is a mutual understanding of North and South rotational president. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayodele, for your wonderful submission on the comment section. Ms. Omaha, you raised your hand earlier on.
Yeah, actually, I just want to say that I am hoping that beyond all this, because I am not for APC or ADC with their current structures and arrangement. Most times they are about the strong personalities within the party. So I am really hoping soon we will get to a point where Nigerians from all over the country, young Nigerians that feel they have what it takes to move the country forward, will come together, push in new political parties, fresh movements that are about the strength of the parties and the credibility of the people they put in place, and also have different channels of checks and balances so that it won't just be, us dealing with people that have already become strong political figures within the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roy, you raised your hand. Thank you, Ms. Omahan. Roy, your hand is up.
Yes, mindset. I know we are closing. I've been waiting to make the point about it's very old. It's something that Adebayo has mentioned about his personal relationship with Tinubu. Unfortunately, as Nigerians, I mean, in any place as well, politics, it does not depend on personal relationships. Otherwise, we'll take Remi Tinubu's word for who her husband is. But that's not how politics works. Politics is about citizenship, and the citizens can only go by the antecedents and precedents that have been laid down. The antecedents of the person, whether they've been in public office before or whether they've had any leadership position in any way. If we've been waiting for Tinubu's classmates to give us to let us know who Tinubu is. It's not one person out of 200 million that will come and tell us, oh, Tinubu will not go for third term. That's not what we're doing. We'll rely on. Meanwhile, do we know Adebayo? I don't know him. I only know his first name. And I only met him 1 minute ago. So I cannot depend on that. We have to grow beyond psychophancy, unfortunately, I have to say. Whether it's Peter Obi or Tinubu or Atiku, it is not about personal relationships. That's not. We are too much of in the situation Nigeria is in right now. We cannot be doing this. We cannot be saying this. For goodness sake, we're not taking Tinubu to court. We're not taking him to prison. We are tasking him. We want him to do more. We don't want him to do what we are afraid of because we have. We care for our nation. So yeah, we might be right. We might be wrong. But by all means, we have a right to voice our concern. So we should not do this, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Roy. Everybody has the right to air their view. This is what this platform is all about. We might disagree with them, we might not like the way it sounds, but this is their own opinion, right? And we probably might learn something from it. But I just got a message here, which I would like to read out to the house to hear. It said, Paul Biya is 92, right? I believe each and every one of us on this platform know who Paul Biya is. Paul Biya is the president of Cameroon. All right, he's been there for, I will use the word donkey years, but he's just been re-elected again. He's 92. So when we look at it, and some persons will look at Paul Biya then and say that he's sick, he's not able to work, he's not able to do this thing. But power, there's something about power. Some people love power. Some people can do anything for power. So I am not saying Bola Tinubu will run, but I'm saying that if he wants to run, there's a possibility that he will get it, right? If he chooses to run with the way things have been set up, there's a possibility he will get it. If he's still available, if he's still around, and life, anything can happen in life. Nobody have the power to give life or to take life. Anything can happen to anybody. Anybody can fall sick. But there are people who, even at old age, will still want to run. So, like the message I just read out now, Paul Biya is 92. He's still the president of Cameroon. So, if Bola Tinubu wants to continue after 2027, if he truly wants it, there's a possibility that he will get it because of the way things are. But then again, it's left for Nigerians to decide, right? What do I mean by that? Every Nigerian has the right to say, we should not allow this to happen. And people would argue and say, no, Nigerians don't even have the power to do it. I will refer you back to 2003, when Obasanjo was finishing his second term. He wanted to go for third term, right? Even those in his political party, and there's a lot of individuals who were part of civil society organizations when civil society organizations were very strong, who stood and said this is not going to happen. Money was shared, and some people refused the money. Some people stood and said we are not going to allow it to happen. If you wanted to know more about the issue of Obasanjo, if you go back to my timeline, you can listen to it. Prof on Sunday was with us here on Sunday, and he explained everything that they did because he was part of the individuals who stood against third term. I'm talking about Prophet Chidi Odinkano. You can listen to I recorded that spaces. It's there. You can go back and listen to it and understand what transpired via third time. So if Nigerians don't want Bola Tinubu in 2027, it's left for Nigerians. If Nigerians don't want Bola Tinubu to continue beyond 2027, it's left for Nigerians. But on that note, I want to thank each and every one of you who have joined this platform this morning until this time. It's been really, really interesting listening to everybody's opinion, and we will continue. I was going to start another spaces because I can give others opportunity, but unfortunately, Ms. Omahan, who raised the issue of insecurity, is no longer on the platform. So I think we might need to pass on this and come on some other time and continue the conversation. On that note, I wish you guys well, and I'll see you some other time. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. God bless you.